Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Chinese qualifiers. Here we've got Old Boys versus VG Gaming potential for game number 1, and we're going to be getting into the draft pretty quickly here. I apologize for the delays, but unfortunately, guys, this morning I am a little bit, not necessarily under the weather, but my allergies are flaring up extensively, and I don't have medicine to counteract it. So, if I'm a little sniffly, if I'm sound a little weird, if I have to mute my microphone for sneezes, I do apologize, but that just comes with the territory until we get that fixed. But we do have a very interesting match on our hands, so I'd like to just jump right into that. Looking at the Old Boys lineup, they kind of wanted to go for something very tempo-oriented. Chen, Venge, Lone Druid, that's your basic push lineup. That's your, I want to kill towers, get the Vengeance Sword on the bear, get some summoned creeps for Chen, and go to town. VG Gaming are doing something very different. They've got ganking with Spirit Breaker and Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter will roam actively, setting up opportunities for Spirit Breaker to run in. And it seems like it's kind of space creation in order to set up Leshrac for success. Leshrac being a core hero here, either in the mid or the safe lane. And I'm curious exactly how that's going to all water down. But the interesting picks are the fourth picks, actually. Darkseer, Invoker, and Winter Wyvern. We're talking aerial clumping, putting people into a small lockdown confined space, and just, I don't know, it's really going to be really interesting to see how the AoE combos kind of work out. The reason that I'm surprised about the Darkseer is that although Surge is really good on a Lone Druid Bear, Iron Shell is really good in this patch in general, the Vacuum doesn't really set up anything for the Lone Druid, for the Venge. Sometimes for the Chen, I mean, sometimes you can get a Centaur Stomp, you can get a Hellbear Clap, but for the most part, the Vacuum's really only setting up the Invoker for, you know, your basic Tornado EMP, or your Meteor Deafening Blast, that kind of thing. So, I am kind of surprised to see it picked up, but I think it's kind of a non-Vacuum-centric Darkseer for once. They're picking him up for his other 3 skills more than his first one. But that's just my 2 cents, we'll see actually how it plays out. If we want to glance over the bands real quick, there was Phantom Lancer, Lycan, Ancient Apparition, Gyrocopter, and Slark from Old Boys, and Earthshaker, Undying, Shadow Shaman, Shadow Fiend, and Queen of Pain for VG Gaming potential. Their last pickup, now this makes a lot of sense. Picking it up, the Centaur War Runner, that's going to be pretty fun to see. They're running a support Winter Wyvern. I'm trying to think of pronunciation here. Some people call it Wyvern. In Warcraft 3, I always called them Wyverns, and I believe the audio for the Orc campaign uses Wyverns as well, so I'm going to go with Wyvern, and hopefully that works out. So, we've got Offlane Spirit Breaker, we've got a Core Centaur, and then it looks like, yeah, we've also got the core Leshrac. So I think they're going to mid the Leshrac and safe lane the Centaur in this case, although it is switching these players' roles. It is going to be kind of modifying things so that they can get a little bit more off the ground early. So I think that's going to be what they have in mind, is the Bounty Hunter is essentially going to be roaming around looking to kill on the mid lane, and the Spirit Breaker will find opportunities anytime he can. So let's go ahead and go through some introductions. There were some changes as far as the player names. These are still the same players though. I did a little bit of research just to make sure, and yeah, these are still the same guys here. So we're going to be seeing XLL on the Centaur War Runner. That's SSS or S3 as I enjoyed calling him for the mid lane. So SSS XLL is the same, and he's going to be running on the safe lane for this game, I do believe. Anyways, James is running on the support. He's the drafter for the team. Yang is the offlaner. Neither of those have changed. Dogfight's also the same. He's the secondary support, loves to play the gank-oriented ones like Night Stalker and that kind of thing, so Bounty Hunter fits that pretty well. But we'll look at Lin here, and if I remember correctly, Lin is in fact Whisper. So if you guys don't know him, he plays some cores, he goes and does his stuff. We're actually going to see a Sentry Ward placed out here, so it's pretty interesting. The Chen wants to keep, you know, this camp potentially open, maybe that camp not blocked off from a ward like that, and also maybe catch out the Bounty Hunter. I think that's probably the most important of the 3, is try to get that first blood down the Bounty Hunter. But in this case, they're just going to cover up their rune. They do have to essentially 4-man on a single bounty rune because they're so weak at level 1. The Chen has no creeps, the Invoker has no spells, so really there is very little that can be done in terms of actually fighting on the bounty in a level 1 clash. They have to just kind of all 4 go for the rune and hope for the best. But we're going to see Dogfight's doing a lot of shenanigans, trying to harass the Chen quite a bit, trying to snipe couriers. It's unlikely that mid can get its bottle before the 3-minute mark, honestly, if Joe goes for a bottle at all. I actually think that might be part of the reason they brought the Lone Druid there, is because they don't want to risk the courier. Up top, though, YYF, he's going to be running on the Invoker. He's going to go for the Null Talisman start with Quaz, so it looks like it's a Quaz Wex build from him. Long DD roaming in with a Satyr, or Satyr. He's going to be on the Chen. 820. The legendary E-Home player playing on the Vengeful Spirit support. And we are going to see Dogfight's pursue. I mean, even if he doesn't have Janata, at this low of HP, they do have some kill potential against Joe. But first and foremost, he really wants that courier. But of course, that's not going to be coming, since you don't even want to really rush out your boots here. It's just not important enough compared to keeping that courier alive. So we'll keep our eyes on him, see when he makes his move. But in the meantime, James is doing some good harassment here on to DD, the offlane player for the old boys. He's running the Dark Seer, just obviously going to go 0-3-1 to start, or 0-2-1 to start things off. And up top we do have a potential gank coming through. The Cold Snap, the Magic Missile, doing some good damage, but Yang is tanky, and that's going to work out. Oh, the bear! Oh, nice kill on the bear. Lin going to be taking that damage, as well as, of course, losing that 300 gold to the Leshrac. But it's up top that the Spirit Breaker, I swear he was alive. I swear he was fine. Test of Faith and the Shockwave were not enough to chase him down there. So I think he went back in. And he went back in for a little bit more punishment, unfortunately. So, kind of odd. I mean, obviously a high roll of Test of Faith can catch you off guard, but still, that was 83 damage of the potential 100, I believe. Yeah, so, I don't know, he just tried to be a little bit more involved than he needed to. He charged, he died, and he got killed by the Chen. So Long DD picks up that first blood, but it's almost a bigger deal for Lin to get that 300 gold bounty against the bear. I think that's a really big deal. And Bounty Rune going to the Bounty Hunter. He's just chasing those down while he's roaming about. It works out pretty well for his playstyle here. They'd love to kill Zhou right now. This is the time where killing off the Lone Druid is like a game-winning move. If you kill the Lone Druid here, then he doesn't have to resummon on the bear for 190 seconds now, and it's just absolutely destroys his momentum. But not an easy opportunity, so he's just going to look for the jungle, see where Chen's stacking up, and just soak up half the experience from a Wild Wing stack. In the meantime, trading hits up here. Surge will allow DD to get away, just to nip on the bud with the double edge. And actually, Dogfight's put in some good damage here. Janata plus Orb of Venom doing some good slows, and they will force him out of the jungle, and even, like I said, steal up some of the Tornado stack.
Thank God.
So, we're going to be seeing him rotate maybe towards the mid lane once again. Kind of dodged out that experience, unfortunately. I don't know if he didn't see the Wild Wing or what, but like he left that experience right when it was coming about. So he is actually being out-leveled by the Chen right now, which generally shouldn't happen. I would consider Bounty Hunter a interesting classification of support. I would consider him like an anti-jungler or a counter-jungler. In the early game, he can really mess with just people that are very specific to certain timings, certain rotations, that kind of thing. You can predict them. The Invis never gets picked up. Instead, there's a haste rune on the field. Leshrac can do some good work with that, and he's going to go to bottle it up now. So really not too much to speak of. I mean, there's little trades back and forth. Maybe the haste rune could do something. We'll see them go in. Good damage coming out. Nice Pulse Nova timing. Lightning will do a lot of work here, but have to watch the Satyr Shockwave in 3 seconds still. The charge comes through. The death of the Chen and Satyr as well. So overall, good movement there from the Leshrac. Pulse Nova is really strong at even level 1, and the fact that he's able to scale it up right then, here not even 4.5 minutes in, and get the haste rune out with it is just insane. Absolutely insane. So we'll see what YF can do with his time here, if he's going to go for the Hand of Midas build that we've seen some Wex Invokers start building, or if he can actually just go for the old Orchid and kind of do work with that. I think that's my preference, but the one problem is he is up against Stampede. So no matter what he does, if he silences somebody and then they get stampeded away, it's not going to be a kill. Speaking of, we're going to see the charge coming out onto the creep wave here. Not greater bashing anybody, incidentally. and the bounty hunter just will fall to the dust and the right clicks. Good magic missile coming out from the Venge. So I'm curious what the Darkseer will pick up as his first item. Pipe of Insight seems pretty valuable here, so I would say that's most likely going to be the case, but I'm assuming he'll probably get boots at least before that. Who knows? So how team fights are going to break down a little bit here, it really comes down to the initiation. If Centaur can get a good Blink Hoof Stomp into fights, then he's going to be able to really set the tone for it, getting a lot of burst damage out on certain opponents. And then the Winter Wyvern is just going to be able to use her ulti on anybody that's trying to reinforce. Anybody that's trying to come in and help whichever target is isolated by the Bounty Hunter, the Spirit Breaker, the Centaur. Whenever they try to go and assist that target, that's when the Winter Wyvern kicks in with her long-range Winter's Curse that locks down everybody in an AoE taunt to disable. So with that, if they can manage that combo, then the Leshrac and the Winter Wyvern are going to do amazing work. If not, then we may see things a little bit differently. We may see Old Boys getting the vacuum wall together. Obviously, they're going to be pushing towers pretty actively, that kind of stuff. Right now, they're rotating 3 down. They want to get involved here. We're going to see some scouting come through. The invisibility from dogfights is here, but Winter Wyvern immediately pops the Arctic Burn, falls back a little bit, and now we'll siege from long range. The wall comes out, though. Nobody in it just yet. Leshrac walks right through, ignoring it completely. They've already killed off the Chen. They connect with the Split Earth, and that is going to be a 2-0. Now stampeding forward. There is some lag. There is a little bit of a server issue here, unfortunately. So that was the hiccups that you were noticing on your screen, not from the stream itself, but from the Dota client for the players and casters alike. So, very unfortunate, but it is what it is, and hopefully it'll dissipate a little bit. So, already getting some good kills down. The Chen just melted there, but they're going to try to get one more out of it. They did Stampede after all. They will hit the Shuriken, but, I mean, whether or not that means anything is a completely different story. It's hard to pursue in this position, so it looks like they're just going to rotate, mess with Zhou if they can, but otherwise be fine. And he battle cries, so the bear gets a little bit more damage, he gets a little bit more armor, and he's going to need that armor to survive against all these incoming right clicks. Oh, big damage coming in from the Winter Wyvern, and that is going to be a nice kill. And, oh, 820! He just ignores the fact there's a bounty hunter right on top of him, and the Orb of Venom slows him down, so this should be a pretty easy kill as well, as they Lightning Storm and right click him down. Long DD moving in as well. This could be a huge mistake. He wants to clean up Yang, but if the Leshrac had mana, then he would be assisting in potentially another kill in just a daisy chain of destruction. So the end result is that Invoker is undisturbed on the top lane completely, and he is going to be rushing out that Orchid, which is going to be great. But he's going to be ganked up right now. Oh, nice Cold Snap just in the nick of time. They didn't have detection, did they? No, they didn't have detection anyway, so wouldn't have succeeded. But they tried. They certainly did. Nether Strike is now available. They'll go for some slows. YYF, there's no Ghost Walk. He doesn't have the Invoke. Oh, no. He goes for an offensive play there with Cold Snap, Tornado, and EMP. And then, not knowing the Bounty Hunter is just waiting the whole time, he doesn't have Ghost Walk to invoke. And the invocation cooldown with only 1 point in it is very long. 22-second cooldown on that spell. So there's really no turning back from just committing to those 3 spells. So the Orchid will be delayed a little bit here, and that's going to take longer for the Invoker to get online. In the meantime, I think they want to kind of rotate into kind of push mentality. I think they could rotate Zhou up and actually start pushing the tier 1. But it looks like they just want to let him push the tier 1 mid, and then they push the tier 1 top. So they get at least one of these 2 towers. Nice damage from the Winter Wyvern, though. Look at the combination. The Splinter Blast plus the Lightning Storm, and they just get wrecked. However, now Lin, getting hit by the EMP, is caught within the Cold Embrace in order to heal him back up, and now he will be going down to the last spellcast and right clicks, and they even ulti YYF. I think, yeah, Winter Wyvern, I think, hit level 6 in the middle of this fight. Uses it as quickly as he can, but I don't know if they get a kill out of it. Wex has a lot of movement speed here. Dogfight's now under tower with the Cold Snap up. No charge to help him. This is getting awkward quickly. But still, the very first part of that engagement, pretty clean from VG.P. And it looks like they kind of still want to dive. In-tread swap, charge onto YYF, immediately tornadoed, and here comes the TP in. This is not good news. Venge coming in. Any stuns connecting would mean VG.P are feeding away a few unnecessary deaths, but they seem to have disengaged cleanly enough. And I just want to note the power of the Splinter Blast plus Lightning Storm combo. The fact that on a 7-second cooldown you've got a 340 damage nuke in a pretty good AoE. It's shadow radius of 500. It doesn't hit the target you send it towards. And then you get the Lightning Storm, which just hits everything and bounces and does 260 damage on a 4-second cooldown. Like, between those two nukes, you have so much AoE magic damage right now. And I really feel like the mechanism's not going to be enough. The Darkseer will be picking up that mech gradually, but I feel like you just have to rush a pipe. Like, you don't want 250 healing when you can get a 600 damage barrier that you know is going to be effective. They need mech and pipe at the same time, and I feel like if the Chen focused a little bit on pushing a tier 1 and then farming the jungle, he could get the mech out before the 20-minute mark, while the pipe would be rushed out by the Darkseer, and they could have both at the same time. If they don't get both the mech and the pipe before the 25-minute mark, I feel there's just too much damage on the side of VG.P, and they're just going to be able to take every fight that they initiate even half well. Bottom tier 1 will be denied out, no contest by the Darkseer directly. Yang just goes ahead and takes care of that. We do see here a Smoke of Deceit on the Winter Wyvern as well as the Centaur Warrior, and if they have the Blink Dagger, want to show it off to Zhou. Zhou has just resummoned his bear! Oh, this could be huge if he dies here! He doesn't have the resummon available, 110 seconds. Radiant do see him, know exactly what they're getting into, and where is that jump? There's the stomp connecting, Stampede, all the spells, magic damage out the wazoo, and for 100 seconds, Lone Druid is just that, forever alone. They're going to be able to do so much work here. Such an extensive time period to capitalize on. We'll see the tier 1 go down up top. Chen pushes that through, inevitably, but man, I still think VG.P just took a huge win there with that kill. Now we're going to see the Cold Snap, the EMP, attempted kill on the Winter Wyvern, but the Iron Shell doesn't do enough damage to proc the Cold Snap, so, or trigger it, I guess is the more appropriate term. In either case, really good momentum now for VG.P. If we just look at Golden Experience, that's 1,500. It's going to be 2,200. But the fact that the Lone Druid can pretty much not farm at all right now is a huge boon for VG.P. I mean, 100 seconds, guys. That is just so painful. And now we're going to see tracks come online. This is the time that VG.P want to fight, when they just got their blink, when they just got their track. So the fact that they're going to be able to do that. Oh, Lin looking for a good split earth from Invis. He does connect onto YYF. They're going to be able to bring him down with the Nether Strike. And there's the Winter Wyvern ulti. The Illusions and the Darkseer are both taunted onto 820. But now they fight through the wall. And it's a little bit awkward. Lin disengaging with just trying to heal himself back up. Shuriken will bounce around nicely, charging through the wall again. It looks like they're not going to be able to get anything out of it, though. This is just committing a little bit too far. XLL, their last chance for kills, but it looks like they'll let them walk. And Jelunk DD, oh my gosh, that Centaur could have easily killed them there, moving that far forward. But assuming they retreat for now, it looks like there will be no more bloodshed here. 10-2 in favor of VG.P, and that track gold's going to start kicking in. Tornado coming out, not going to be doing too much here, though. He seriously got the kill? Wow. I mean, he just runs in there, shurikens him, gets Janata strike under the tower, and he's fine. As long as he knows that YYF is otherwise preoccupied and can't counter-initiate on him, then it works out. And they have no sentry wards to kind of camp that area for him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So in this position, old boys, they really just have to make sure they protect the Lone Druid. Zhou is going to be pushing. He's going to be trying to farm, but he can't die again. He really can't afford to. But we're going to see some stuns dodged out for a moment. Nice tornadoes, but in the end, YYF still falls, and they're going to charge right onto H20. A track kill here would give so much to Leshrac and Spirit Breaker, and they're just going to start running over the old boys as they get a triple kill on Lin, connecting with the stuns perfectly, and they get a track kill on 2 of those, I believe. So they now have extremely short cooldowns. 110 seconds is their longest cooldown. They are getting kill momentum. They are gaining a level advantage. They are getting tons of gold with this track. And there's really nothing to stop them from just continuing to initiate over and over and over again. The mech came out from the Darkseer, but it just wasn't enough. They need more. They need the mech and the pipe, and Darkseer's got a large shopping list for himself. YYF, like he was actually pretty close to the Orchid in my mind, but now he seems so far gone. Like if he had 5 minutes extra to farm it, he'd be within a few hundred gold of it, but it looks like VG.P are just not going to slow their roll at all. They're just going to be continuing to push forward, look for the snowball effect, look to run their opponents down. In fact, they went 2 sets of Drums of Endurance just to make sure they can keep running their opponents down. And next we'll see a most likely Bloodstone for Lin. Interesting that they're checking the Roche pit. I don't really feel that Old Boys have that great of Roche potential. I mean, let's say that Venge had a medallion, then Wave of Terror plus medallion, that's a decent chunk of armor taken out, that's -11. The Lone Druid always has been pretty good at Roche, and then you also have just the right clicks from a couple extra heroes. It's definitely possible. It's definitely a come from behind play that should be considered, but we're going to see an attempt under the Sentry Ward to Tornado the Bounty Hunter while he's dishing out the tracks. Lin very far forward, but seems like he doesn't care. He wants this bear, and he wants it now. Going for the kill. He might get swapped out. Bad position for him to be in. Magic Missile connecting. Oh, the Cold Embrace keeping alive. And the Splinter Blast doing so much work here. XLL bails Lin out at the last second. He runs right through the wall back to safety. And Venge goes down. Another strike on the long DD. All these heroes tracked up. All this money for VG.P. And it's about to be a VG.P victory as they are just destroying them in fights, taking a massive kill advantage, and getting all this juicy gold as a result thanks to the Bounty Hunter. Man, he is just dishing out the track. And Lin, he bottles up, he heals himself back up, and he's really valuing all those stats. I mean, the fact that his Magic Wand had Strength Treads, Point Booster, and Drum, that's what keeps him alive long enough that the Cold Embrace can really take effect. And there are people that would argue, oh man, you don't need all those points in Cold Embrace. There are people who say it's a one-point wonder. You put one skill point into it and then you go stats. Well, if you look at what that Cold Embrace did in that last fight, with the 6% health per second, it is definitely a valuable skill to have maxed out. Lin surviving just based on that. Really good Cold Embrace keeping him alive and showing the power of the Winter Wyvern. There's a lot of physical damage coming out from the Old Boys. I talked about that when I was talking about Roshan, but it's true for the Leshrac too. Leshrac only has 7 armor naturally, so Cold Embrace is a great tool to keep him alive and keep him active. I forget if it disables Pulse Nova during it. I know the Edict will still keep ticking through, but I think it disables Pulse Nova when you cast it on an ally.
Dire's middle tower is
But
under attack.
Wyvern is still a pretty new hero, so it's not always easy to know what she's capable of. Observer wards covering up the eastern side of the map here. VG.P know exactly what's going on, who's moving where. And it's just really a pretty clean sweep right now for VG.P across the map. If they start taking the side lanes a little bit more seriously, they could just really crush Old Boys before they have a chance to rebound. I mean, it's not like the Lone Druid is a come from behind carry anyways. Like, he can fight well in the late game, but it's not like it's his game plan too. We're going to see a quick tornado coming out. Wow, YF so quick with those tornadoes every single time. It's impressive, but they get the easy kill with the Winter's Curse. Just throw out that Winter's Curse, you guarantee a kill on a target, and now we see another strike connecting onto the Invoker to pin him down too. So, they get the deny on the tier 1, they get 2 kills for their troubles. And they'll look at bottom where Zhou is being charged. The Spirit Bear in jeopardy too. They could kill the bear and the Druid if they wanted to. That would be really nice, but it looks like they'll just take one at a time. The bear will fall first. 300 gold going to Yang. And the Lone Druid sitting at very low HP, but he does have a resummon. So the tier 2 tower going to fall, opening up the Roche pit quite a bit for VG.P. Really hard to contest this position without the Wall of Replica. Without the tier 2, the Roche is in a good spot for VG gaming potential. And I like this kind of a lineup. I think that this is kind of the kind of lineup you're going to see a lot more frequently. Just to run them down, get on top of them, build up momentum. Bounty Hunter Track was a very weak spell in 6.23 because of the comeback gold. because of how much gold you can actually get out of the enemy's pocket if you feed that back away. Artificially enhancing your bank account is not really the best way to win a game in 6.83, because they're just going to bring it back. If you didn't really seriously earn that advantage, then it's kind of just a number, and that number can be padded back the other direction. But in 6.84 track, it's all about momentum, it's all about the tempo of the game, and you don't have to worry about the comeback nearly as much. So the track is actually a really big deal. We're going to see Yang looking for his BKB. Looks like Bounty Hunter is looking for his Mechanism. Interesting. So with the Arcane Boots bottle and Magic Wand, as well as the 9 intelligence he gets from the drums, he's going to be feeling confident to actually run the mech. And if you look at his mana pool, why not? 900 mana. All he has to do is avoid the EMP, and that is a mech. Oh no! Oh, Chen. Poor Chen. All of his creeps getting caught out here. We will see, with all this spells on cooldown, they'll try to go for an initiation. They do connect with the EMP on 2, so that in of itself, it seems really good to me. But yeah. We've also got a Glimmer Cape on Winter Wyvern. So the cool thing about Glimmer Cape for Wyvern that I'm just now thinking about is Cold Embrace plus the Glimmer Cape. For those 4 seconds, that person is nearly immune to everything. Where usually, it used to be when you stun that person, you locked him in place, you're still vulnerable to magic damage, and you'd commonly see Skywrath Ultimate, for example, the Mystic Flare as a counter to Cold Embrace. Well, you combine that with Glimmer Cape, and that's no longer the case. They're 80% magic resistance, they're 100% physical immunity, and of course they have that HP regen. So, yeah, there's no way that they're going to be going down to anything during the Glimmer Cape and Cold Embrace. But we're going to see Yang come through, looking for an opening. They've got tracks up on everybody. Lone Druid, I don't know what he's going to do. He needs just 100 gold to get Radiance, but when you're losing all outer towers but the one, and you don't have a glyph any longer, I don't know if Radiance is really going to be bringing it back for you, but Joe will try. The Radiance Bear has done some amazing things in the past, and he suddenly will be able to recoup for his losses here with a 22.5 minute Radiance. Still, I mean, we're looking at Centaur with the Blink, the Hood, looking for Aghanim's or a Pipe next. The Pipe would be really good against the Radiance. The Aghanim's, of course, just good in general. I really feel like Old Boys, their laning phase had to go a little bit better. Like, the Chen had to do some amazing things and really get off his feet quickly. Oh, DD, no. DD's not going to get cut out. It's everybody else. A double Greater Bash charge. Going in. Nether Strike onto 820. Stampeding forward. They get 3 kills instantly without any return damage at all. Everybody's full HP here on the side of VG.P. Darkseer runs for his life immediately after buying the plate mail from the secret shop. And that's about it. Is this effigy for real? You get a shiny effigy?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I think that's the TF4 effigies in general, is they're golden. Maybe not the Enigma one specifically. So yeah, we've got the Cold Embrace heading out on Yang. He's going to be able to tank up the tower easily with that. They are afflicted by the Radiance, so they're looking to back off a little bit here. It does give 17% mischance as well as some damage over time, so a little bit frustrating to fight into, but if they get an ultimate onto Zhou, it won't matter. Not that difficult to get in range for the spell. If they can just jump it, Glimmer Cape in something, they go in with the Centaur, and where is that ulti? The Winter's Curse on everybody! All 4 locked in to that curse. They're just going to charge them down. Going in, Lin wants Zhou. He'll get him with the Split Earth. Great combo from Lin. He'll finish everything off here, carry less track at work, and now we see the ultimate come through onto 820, onto YYF. They jump them, they stun them, they lock them down. And they will take this game 26-2. It's over 20,000 net worth advantage, 17,000 experience. They will take game 1 here in only 24 minutes time. What a perfect setup for that Winter's Curse. That was just beautiful. That was a lot of fun to see, actually. Winter Wyvern is here. We don't get to see enough of, but we got to see a lot of that hero right here. Didn't really feel the burst ability there, the Siege Arctic Burn. We didn't get to see that as much, but got to see a Splinter Blast work really well in a couple of ganks. Cold Embrace turn a fight or two. And then obviously that last Winter's Curse in particular was just gorgeous. That was a lot of fun to see. the hero in action, even with the nerfs. Still very powerful, though definitely not as imbalanced as she was. And Centaur Warner did pick up the Aghanim Scepter for that last fight, so just even more ability to charge forward fearlessly and not have to worry about defensive stuff. I'm really curious how powerful Winter Wyvern is with this Glimmer Cape build. Like, as far as turning what would be a glass cannon into a very durable hero with the combination of Cold Embrace and Glimmer Cape. I feel like you can run a lot more aggressive and offensive heroes as a result of that mentality. It's like you have a Dazzle or an Omni on your team. So I'll be looking out for Winter Wyvern as a defensive support as well as a disabling and damaging one. So that's going to be fun to see in the future. But for now, we see the old boys. They have to kind of shake it off a little bit and go into game 2, heads held high, show us what they're made of. Because these guys, individually, they are incredibly talented and incredibly experienced, but as far as team play, as far as draft, VG.P take it away. So that's the first game here for iLeague. We've got 4 today in total. So we're going to be going into game 2, the same matchup, VG Gaming versus Old Boys, in just a few minutes. Hopefully you guys enjoy the commentary here. I myself am Blaze. You can follow me at BlazeCasting on Twitter. And of course, check out BeyondTheSummit.tv. See you guys in just a couple minutes for game number 2.